running. I'm going to back out of that and let you have Facebook. I'll go back and talk everybody
It's back.
over on.
Should be live on. It should be coming up.
Well, let me try again and reload on Ain't You a Peach. And it looks like we had 2 minutes and 49 seconds.
Yeah, that's the old one. I started a new one.
Oh, we got a new one. Okay, well, let me try again then. I love technology. Hey, there's live now. I see us. Hey.
I'm getting where I hate technology.
Technology is so much fun. Just like a rectal exam, except with technology, we don't get the glove or the grease.
I don't know if I want a rectal exam with or without the glove or the technology. No, I think I'll pass on that as long as I possibly can. You know,
I don't blame you there. Don't blame you at all. So, how about you? How's your week been? I mean, has it been a good one, a bad one?
It hasn't been horrible.
Now, didn't I see something about tree limbs being in your yard or something, or was that an old post that I came across?
Well, you know, the storm that came through, I think it was the week before last, you know, those storms that came from, I think they came from either Texas or Louisiana and kind of swooped up across us. Tornadoes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there was a lot of bad weather earlier in the week.
Yeah, it was pretty nasty. But I don't know if it was a tornado. I swear it looked like a tornado. Well, I mean, I didn't physically see the tornado, but I was looking out the window when the trees came down and the way the wind was blowing. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. Took the whole top of the tree off.
Oh, wow.
Like literally it was a tall tree. It took like the top section of it and it fell on the ground. And then I have a magnolia tree too, and it took clumps of magnolia leaves and branches, and so my yard is like scattered with trees. It's pretty bad.
The fun thing about magnolia trees are the seed pods. Aren't those things just so much fun?
And they stink.
And if you throw them in a burn pile, now the leaves are supposedly toxic, so you don't want to breathe the green leaves smoke. At least that's what I've been told. But those little seed pods get hot, baby. They throw off a bunch of heat. Those things are fun to play with
I've never noticed that.
Yeah, I've taken them over to a friend of mine's house a bunch of times. I'll fill up a plastic trash can full, you know, those big tall trash can fulls, and we'll feed its fire, and it'll keep the fire going for quite some time. But it throws off a lot of heat, lots and lots of heat.
Interesting. Yeah. We don't really have any bonfires here though. When my son was here, this was like 3 years ago, it was like every night a bonfire. So
fires are fun. You have a couple of beers, a big old fire, roast some marshmallows.
Oh yeah, they'd sit out there and drink and listen to music and talk war stories. Yeah. All that kind of good stuff, you know.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what fires are for. You tell those long tales.
Oh yeah, and they used to have a blast doing it.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Yeah, I don't know if he even has any over at his house now. He's got him a house and all that kind of stuff, and 4 kids.
Oh Lord! Well, see, now there you go. You have plenty of fire material with 4 youngins. You know, gives you something to burn, right?
Oh yeah, lots of toys that are broken.
Well, that always seems to happen. That definitely seems to.
I always enjoyed going out in the woods, you know, out where nobody was. Not to camp, but to go out there and just hang out, build a fire, you know, drink some beer, you know, stuff like that.
That's always fun. We used to do that, but we would go camp and do it. I know one time when I was in St. Louis, my girlfriend and her sister's fiance, husband, whatever it was, we loaded everything up in a little boat and went out on the river someplace and found us a little island and set up the tents and camped out over the weekend, toted all our grub and food and everything like that with you. You know, you're camping, take everything, food,
Oh, yeah.
water, live in the dirt, pack everything. You take everything back home that you took with you. Well, except what's naturally biodegradable. Other than that, you leave it. If it came in a can, that can goes right back home with you.
Yeah, I used to love to camp. Now it's like physically, oh my gosh, I can't sleep. My body hurts. I'm like, I need a week to recuperate afterwards.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
I know it is. It's horrible. I'm used to
But
my bed.
now I know for me, I have a cot that I roll out, you know, or fold out. So you got something good and solid. You're off the ground. It's just like being in a bed.
Well, it's like Rusty and them. They do it right. They bring a big old air mattress and
Oh,
tents
they
and
bring a whole city with them
oh
when they
yeah, they got
camp.
everything. If I could do that, then I might, but I don't go enough to invest in all that. So yeah, it would kind of defeat the purpose.
Well, yeah, but see, that was when I was in California or when just anywhere in general. I do a lot of prospecting anyway, and you have to stay in the dirt. I mean, you're out in the middle of nothing. There's nothing you can do. So you take a tent and sleeping bags and stove and hatchet and make you a nice bonfire and cook your stuff, and you have your camp stove so you can heat your water and have hot coffee or hot tea in the morning, whichever your preference is. It's fantastic. It's fun.
Well, back when I did used to do it, I actually drank. That makes a big difference.
Well, it
You
depends on
know?
how much. Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's a big difference when you have a little alcohol to help you get through the thing. But
The cold, the damp. Now, see,
yeah.
as long as it stays warm and dry, camping is fantastic. It's you can't beat it. I mean, yes, you have everything with you.
Oh
Excuse
yeah.
me, but you're out in nature. You know, no phone, no internet, no nothing. Out in the Mother Nature, bugs
Very
and
true.
critters. Those things are the fun stuff.
Well, it is what it is, Comes with age.
Come to think, come on, you're still a
Comes-
young lady yet. You still should be rolling out there, going through the bushes like it's nothing.
So, have you heard anything interesting on the news? Anything worth talking about?
Everything's worth talking about. It's just whether or not everybody else finds it interesting.
Anything that
Um,
kind of jumped out at,
well, I know, like we were
smacked you in
mentioning
the face?
before the show started, I had seen yesterday. I believe it was yesterday. You and I were talking to you. It said how people's attitudes had so changed. You were watching a show or something, and the kids just went off on the parents. Now, me as a child, my dad was 6'4". My mom was, like 5'9" ish. They're big people. I'm a kid. I'm down here at kneecap height. You don't open your mouth and bad mouth. Hands come back right across the kisser. Kabam.
Yeah. I remember when I was little, I remember my dad chased me across the yard one time for talking back to him. I
I
never
don't
did it
doubt it.
again. I
I
mean,
don't
and
doubt it.
now TV shows, it's like the kids all have this like they're adults or something,
And
they
we're the
literally
children.
cuss at parents.
That's like, oh, Greta Thunderbird. How dare you? I love that for Sandra. How dare you? That poor
How
mentally
dare
deranged
you?
child has just been abused. I feel bad for her. I mean, give the poor kid a Prozac. She might feel better. It's
Yeah.
terrible. How dare you? No, how dare
No,
you talk to me, kid? Climate change isn't. I'm sorry.
on her
It's a
defense,
hoax.
and I'm not agreeing with her at all about climate change, but I think that her parents have had some to do with her views, but from what I understand, she is, I don't know if she's autistic or something, but I have heard, and I don't know if it's 100% true, that she has some sort of disability.
Yeah,
So,
doesn't she
she's
have like
being taught.
ADHD, GH? She has one of those other things.
Well, she's being taught pretty much what her parents are making her believe, and that's a lot to do with it. But I mean, hell, they shouldn't be allowed to be parents. Anybody put your kid on a sailboat and let them sail across the ocean by themselves. I mean, come on.
Let me sail across the world. Now, how many kids can say that, though? Now, in that regards, that's fantastic. She has that life experience to say that I've sailed across the Atlantic. Now, she could have been keel hauled while she was drug across the Atlantic.
Eaten by a whale.
Yeah, well, poor whale. Jonas, what do you have against whales? I mean,
I love whales.
And what's wrong with your tummy? Oh, I got a Greta. That would be bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm disappointed because I don't know, the fact that kids even think that they can treat their parents the way they do now, and TV is the one that's kind of putting that out there. It's okay to talk to your parents like that. They do it on TV. I mean, remember Leave It the Beaver and Father Knows Best and all that? They would have never talked to their parents like that. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm sorry. Thank you. Please. And it's
call
like,
parents by their, your friends' parents by their name, Mr. Kinnett, Mrs. Kinnett, how are you today? Mrs.
I remember
Bozo.
Eddie on Leave It the Beaver.
Oh, Eddie Haskell. Ooh, yes. What a slime ball.
As bad as he was, he at least still had manners. I don't know. It's the whole TV thing just really gripes my ass. I mean, it's not just the kids on TV being taught bad, but it's like I feel like I'm in the process of. I mean, I'm not in the process, but like there's some kind of deprogramming or something, with the fact that there's always a gay couple, or there's always a kid
couple
that's got, what do they call it? Sex gender issues or
transgender child.
It's just, I don't know. It's gotten to where when I watch TV anymore, and they don't usually throw it in the first episode. They wait and let you get hung. And you're like, oh, wow, I like this show. And then all of a sudden, boom, in your face.
Well, okay, now here's what gets me. Less than 3% of the population is other than heterosexual. So less than 3%. That's like this much.
Exactly.
But yet everything on TV, every single show has. Now I'm a hypocrite. I swear it. I'm sorry. I'm a hypocrite. Two hot chicks want to swap spit. I'm all for it. Two hard ankles want to hold hands and go walking down the street all lolly dolly. No, no, I don't care to see two guys, tonguing each other. No, yuck, pass, not good. Zombie crosses, all that. No,
exactly.
No. Like I say, I'm a hypocrite. Two hot chicks want to kiss. Great, they want to grab each other's butts and boobs. Cool.
In all honesty, I used to have a joke that if I ever went lesbian, I would be a lipstick lesbian, meaning, they would have to pretty much look like somebody from Playboy or Penthouse or something. My question is when you see a girl and she's with another girl, but the other girl looks like a dude. Now, if you don't want to be with dudes, why are you with a chick that looks like a dude?
Yeah, it's the, the 2000s and 20s, hey, I love a tree. Okay, go be a tree humper if that's what you want to do. Not me. I mean, I'm 110% lesbian. I'm sorry. I have nothing to do with Adam's apples. No Adam's apples, no facial hair. I have enough of that for the two of us. I don't, yeah, none. Pass. Pass.
I don't mind. I mean, I don't like it that I feel it's being shoved in my throat. But if I've got to see it, I would rather it be two hot chicks making out in front of me on the TV as opposed to two guys. I don't know what it is. I really can't put my finger on it, but it turns my stomach. It's like, oh, yuck.
It's like, ew, yucky,
Yes,
yucky,
exactly.
ain't happening.
And these little
And
kids, we watched this show. Me and my roommate watched this show. It's called Single Parents. And one of the single parents on there has this kid. He's I want to say he's around 9-ish. And I'm gonna tell you what, that kid is flaming. I rock your world.
kids don't know. How can it? That's what gets me. Kids just all this crap on TV. Oh, my 7-year-old wants to transition. A 7-year-old doesn't even know whether it's standing or sitting yet to take a
Well,
leak. How in the
you
hell can
did hear I think it's Texas. The little kid that
the
mom and dad
boy
were.
that daddy wants him to be a boy and mommy says no, he's a little girl?
The court said that she will not be allowed to give him any type of treatment,
Hormone
surgery, or
treatments.
anything else.
No,
So
not at all.
they stopped it.
Which they
Thank
should.
God.
Thank the good Lord on that one. I mean, okay, maybe it's just me, but if you say you're a lesbian, that's your sexual orientation. If you say you're gay, that's your sexual orientation. I don't understand how you can go, I was born to stand up to take a leak, but I really feel like I should have long hair, sit down and take a leak. Just because that's how you feel doesn't mean that's what you are. So how is it and why is it they let them take, shots and hormones to go, okay, I'm going to sit and pee now instead of, hey, let me write my name, George. I don't get it.
I don't get
To
it.
me, it doesn't make sense. I mean, maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I'm not.
Oh no, I don't think any of us are stupid.
I don't comprehend it. I don't get it.
I mean, and not only that, but the fact that we have 100 and some odd genders now. I mean, come on. I mean,
I'm part of the
I can handle
LGBTQRLMNOSTP.
right, exactly. And I can handle the gay and lesbian community. That is not an issue for me. My issue is the fact that they act like there's one in every family. But I mean, I have friends that are lesbians that are in a, relationship with someone. They have kids. They act normal. They have jobs. They don't, they're Trump supporters, believe it or not. Whoa. But it's this constantly, they don't even post stuff. One girl, I went to school with her and I had no idea until about 6 months ago that she was a lesbian. That's how little they post on their walls. And then you got all these ones that are out there just posting it everywhere and anti-Trump. And, it's like, why?
I'm a flavor and I'm fine. If you want to, what you want to do for yourself is up to you. That's why we have, the First Amendment, freedom to do, and the Bill of Rights to do what you want to do as long as you're not harming somebody else. All right, if you want to run around your house and kiss your maple door frame hunky-dory, knock yourself out. If you want to be in love with another dude, hey, that's up to you. What you guys do at home is for you. What
Exactly.
you do out in the general populace is just that, it's out in the populace.
I
And
mean,
yeah,
it's like
I
they
agree
want
with
to be
Mike. Mike
seen.
says there's gay conservatives. Yeah, being
There
a
are.
conservative
Most of
can
my
be any
friends
flavor.
are conservatives, including the three gay women that I went to school with. They are all conservative. And
There's nothing wrong with that at all. Which I mean, I'm glad people are conservative. Like I say, whom you love behind your closed doors, what you do in your bedroom is up to you. As long as you're not, stealing people off the street to do it, what you
right,
do at home is fine. I have no compulsions. If you want to, break out a box of Aunt Jemima syrup and pancake mix and roll around on the floor and knock yourself out, that's up to you. You know, I don't need to be part of it. As long as I don't need to be part of it,
exactly. It's like I don't want to see it every time I turn around.
or every time I
Whatever
turn the
you do, it's
TV
your
on or
business.
change the channel.
Yeah, well, I mean, even out in public, it's like I don't need to see it. I'm totally like I don't care about a little peck on the cheek or a little peck on the lips or stuff like that. But when you're making out, that I don't care if you're heterosexual or homosexual, I don't want to see it. But it really drives me up a wall, and it's you know. So yeah,
Exactly. Like I
and
say,
then on top of that, okay, so then not only is it being shoved down our throats on TV, but what about the ones who want to have the sex change and then they want to be on the girls' team? What? You
yeah,
can't date a
like
guy?
that, like it always cracks me up. That guy from GameStop. It's ma'am. It's the same thing with these guys. They couldn't compete with their male counterparts, so they went, okay, I got a set of boobs now that I got mammary glands. Let me go bench press this, 290 pounds at a
Exactly.
100-pound gal can't do.
I think I said it on one of the Mojo shows one day, a while back when it was on a Friday, when call in, and I said I got the perfect solution. We have the gay Olympics and the gay whatever they want, whatever sports they want to play, have their own, and then all the gays and the trannies and all that stuff can go and do their little thing together and leave everybody alone.
Well, it would probably take about 8 or 9 months longer than the regular Olympics because you figure you have 27 different flavors of whatever it be. So you would have 27 entries per event. So yeah, it would take you a while to do, but it would work.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't even care if the gays, are on their prospective male or female team, if they're gay and they want to participate in that sport on the side of their gender, their birth gender, then
Well,
go
see
for
now,
it. I really don't care. It's the ones that want to, you can go get a sex change. You can get all your medicines to change your hormones and all that other kind of stuff. But a man is still technically a man. His bones, his muscles, all that stuff is still technically a man, and it is different than a woman.
it
And
is.
therefore, to go compete against some girls who are, especially in high school, that are on sports teams, they're trying to get scholarships and they're good at what they do, and then this dude, woman wannabe, comes along and knocks them completely out of the running. It's wrong.
No, it exactly is. They should go by what you were born with. Either you're a pair of X's or you're an X and a Y. That's what should determine how you feel on the inside. It's up to you. What you do away from the sporting event, it's up to
Mhm.
you. But I don't, you can be totally 125%,
Mhm.
lesbian or gay. And I've had friends that were, into their own gender. We got along fine. There's nothing wrong with that as long as you don't try to include me in your lifestyle. What you do, with yours and your own is great. We can go out and play football all day long, as long as you're not grabbing my ass, I'm not going to piss a bitch about it. After you get home, if you want to go shower with Bubba and, take an extra 45 minutes, that's up to you.
Does that
As
mean the
long as it
gays aren't
doesn't
allowed to be
involve
the
me.
quarterback?
As long as
Hands
it's
be a little bit too close there.
It takes all kinds of people to do all kinds of things in the world. And like I say, what you do professionally or out in public is one thing. What you do at home generally is two different things.
Totally. So, what was I was going to ask something. Darn it. I hate it when that happens.
Cranial foxposs.
Yeah, I have a lot of that lately. Well, I'll move on to the next topic. So, how about the gun thing? Is that affecting Kentucky yet? Or, I know here in Georgia, there's some of the politicians that are trying to do the same as they were doing in Virginia. And of course, we're also fighting back with already determining sanctuary counties.
Right now, Tennessee is doing a few sanctuary counties and cities. Kentucky, not as much that I've seen, but I'm stuck down here in the bottom of the state, so I don't have my finger on the pulse of the whole state, obviously. I do know that seeing how we now have a Democratic governor and his Democratic friends are trying to get legislation pre-written for, weapons of, you can't have this, it can't be an assault rifle, which is a misnomer. That's like putting mammary glands on a bullfrog. It just doesn't happen. There is no such thing as an assault rifle. I mean, if you're attacking somebody, everything is an assault. If you use a salt shaker and smack somebody in the head with it's an assault weapon. It might be a salt shaker, but it's still assault. Once you attack somebody, it's assault.
These things right here are considered lethal weapons. What are they going to do?
Ooh, you're a black belt, are you? Uh-huh.
No, I'm not saying me. I'm just saying there are people who their hands have been considered to be lethal weapons. My biggest thing is this red flag thing. Did you see where I don't remember what state it is, but the woman made false accusations in order to get someone for the red flag law, and it came out later that she lied.
Right. See, that's the problem with it. Anytime somebody else can say, "Oh, he's a danger," I don't like him. He puts his underwear on the right foot instead of the left foot first. He's not good, so we need to make sure to take his guns away from him. They have guns.
Gave me the evil eye.
Exactly. It's crazy.
How many people?
Yes, in some instances, I think going in, okay, let's say you've posted online, I'm going to go shoot my school up tomorrow, or hey, Columbine was nothing, wait till you see what I do. All right, in those instances, let's look into that. When somebody's actually going, I am going to do something that you will not like, then let's take steps. But if it's not able to be proven, and see, that's in writing, that's something you've already typed, it can be pulled up later and you go, oh, look, I said this. You or your neighbor, let's say you don't like your neighbor, their dog barks all night long, but they go hunting. So what's to stop you from calling the sheriff and going, this guy's crazy. He told me he's going to blow me away because his dog barks at night and I don't like it. So what happens? The cops come down. They go, hey, dude, you got guns. There's a complaint against you. They take guns, and then you have to go through the court thing and prove. Whereas it used to be you were innocent until proven guilty, not guilty until proven innocent.
Exactly. Yep. I mean, to me, this is opening a can of worms. A can of revenge worms. Anybody that you hate, anybody that's pissed you off, that cut you off in a parking lot, I don't care what it is. Hey, they threatened me. I mean, who, how are you going to control this?
Well, one way it would be if everybody was armed, or almost everybody. I mean, there are a lot of people. There's a bunch of Democrats, left kind of people that go, guns bad. Did you see the
Mhm.
thing online where the guy, I think maybe in Virginia or someplace like that, was doing the town hall and talking about how firing the bullets, you can use any one of your fingers as compared to a bullet. I mean, it was just so bad. It was one of those people trying to explain firearms that has never seen one or held one in their life, has never even played with a cap gun. I mean, no
Oh,
intellect
yeah.
on him whatsoever, but yet was holding the town hall and an elected official trying to tell his constituents why guns are bad and what they are bad about them. And didn't know the first thing. I'm surprised he even said pull the trigger as compared to, put the barrel up against your shoulder. It's
Well, I
crazy.
think, especially these people that are creating all of these laws should be a little more educated about guns, about the laws that are on the books now. Like, the fact that we have assault weapons when assault weapons were banned, what year was it? I know it was a while back.
Back in
But
the late 70s, 80s, I know they had an assault weapon ban. You couldn't buy Uzis, you couldn't buy
yeah,
ARs.
and I know anyone who owns any type of military type of, legally owns it, they're collectors, and the stuff is checked on constantly,
Oh,
and
yes.
it's all registered, and it's not laying out where people can get it. It's in a concealed room where no one has access to it. But
Exactly.
yet,
And if you do have an automatic weapon, and let's say I have the paperwork, I have my FFL license, it's federal firearms license,
mhm,
to possess an automatic weapon. That means pull the trigger and all the bullets go. As soon as I let go of the trigger,
right,
it quit shooting. I can have one as long as
mhm,
I do all of the paperwork to do it legal.
exactly.
And if I'm out at the range shooting it and I hand it to you, I have just broken the law because you aren't authorized to handle it or play with it. Now, you can go to a range and rent them where it's on them and you're playing with their equipment. It's not,
Right.
it's not my personal equipment, it's their business equipment. That's a
Mhm.
whole horse of another color. That's how you can go to a range and play with, different weapons. But
Yeah.
for us to do it, I would be in violation of the law were I to hand you my
Mhm.
M16 or M60 or Abrams tank, whatever it
Right.
happens to be, which is
The thing
crazy.
that
I
gets
mean,
me is the fact that, especially they're so up against the NRA, but the NRA consists of legal gun owners that follow the law. How many NRA members have gone out and just killed somebody
blowing
for
up
the
a
fun of it?
school, none. Out of all the shootings that we've had, there haven't been any NRA members. The only people that go out and do crazy, stupid shit like that, stuff like that, are the people that don't A, have any common sense, B, have a screw loose someplace because they want their 12 seconds of fame to
Uh-huh.
say that I did this, I wiped out this, I blew this up, which is insane. It's mental
Exactly.
deficiency.
It irritates me that we're the ones that will be stripped of everything because most of us, our guns are registered. Most of us have carry license. Um, but then look at Chicago. They got worse laws than anyone does as far as guns, and yet the death rate is through the roof. I mean,
Chicago's
do
gun
laws
laws are as
work?
strict as Washington, D.C.'s, yet Chicago has one of the highest gun assault charge rates weekly. Check with Izzo at some point. I
Every
mean,
weekend, there's like 100 and
there's
some people.
every time you turn around. If you get through a weekend without 50 or 60 people being shot and probably 10 or 15 of them dying, it was because it was probably a blizzard and nobody could get out, or the power was turned out and no one could see.
To me, it's not even a matter of protecting the people as they claim, that we need to protect the people, because if they really cared about protecting us, they'd put a damn wall up. Keep the illegals out, keep all the illegal drugs and all that stuff. But to say that we're going to take your guns so that we can protect you, I'm sorry, I would rather protect myself.
Well, the police's job is not, although it says on the side of their cars, to protect and serve. Think about it. Have you ever had a cop at your front door before somebody broke in to steal your TV set? No, they show up after the fact and write up the paperwork so you have something to send to insurance to go, hey, somebody broke in and stole my TV set. So that to protect and serve on the side of their cars is pretty much a misnomer. They're there
to clean up the mess.
The cleanup, exactly. They do the after action reports. They don't, cause the action. They don't prevent the action. They do the after action reports.
I mean, I will say probably 5 minutes down the road, I have it's like a small place. Only the cops go there. People don't generally go there, but it's where they can gas up, and it's a small center. Here, depending on traffic, you're looking at anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes to get to my house. But in other areas, I've seen it take 15, 20, 30 minutes for the cops to show up.
Exactly. That's why they protect you by being in the donut shop when the kid comes in to rob it. They only do after action. And it takes 10 to 20 minutes on the average for an officer to show up at somebody's location. Well, after that time, whatever was going on has long since concluded, and whomever was involved is no longer in that general area, unless you happen to be quicker on the draw than they are, and then you have to have somebody come in and mop your floors after they carry them out.
Like I said, I think I would rather take my chances with having my own gun as opposed to having to rely on them or, somebody else. So
I would rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6.
Oh yeah, definitely. I just, like I said, the statistics all pretty much prove that when you can't have a gun, you're basically a sitting duck for somebody else to take what you have.
Not only somebody else, but anybody else. I believe that's part of what's going on with the big push to disarm everybody in the States.
It's a power trip.
Is so the government, those driving the boat, if you will have an easier chance of taking over. You can control a populace that has no means to withstand what you're putting out. Look at Venezuela. If them folks was locked and loaded, it wouldn't have gone down that way.
Perfect example. And then what do they do? What do they do when the guns doesn't work? They take our guns and, look at, is it the UK or is it France? One of the two of them, they're using knives now. So now they've put a ban on.
They've gotten rid of all of the guns pretty much in the United Kingdom, and they've resorted to knives, screwdrivers, hatchets. Yeah, bladed weapons is now the thing, and they have bins all over the place for you to drop off your said bladed weapon just so it won't hurt somebody else. Well,
Exactly.
when
Well,
they
they just
take
like
away all the
force
knives, then they'll have hammers. When you take away the hammers, they'll have rocks. When you take away rocks, what do you have
I mean,
left? You know,
how many people have gotten in a vehicle and drove into a crowd because they wanted to kill them? I mean,
it happens all the time, and it always will. There are always people that think that the only way to get there, yeah, and Mike, like Mike says, acid too. They're doing a lot more acid
oh
attacks.
yeah,
Um, any way to get your 10 minutes of fame, or in a lot of the cases, especially I think in England and countries like that, England, Sweden, where they're having a whole lot more rape problems and
hmm,
knife attacks. I think it is more of a religious based problem as
yeah,
it is a general consensus of the people. Because when you have a cohesive country, let's like take the America back in the 30s, 40s, even
mhm,
everybody didn't matter where you immigrated from, whether you came from Ireland, whether you came from Hungary, whether you came from Poland. It didn't matter where you came from. You came to America to be an American. You were an
everybody assimilated
American. You
back then.
weren't an Irish American. You weren't a Hungarian American. You were American. Now you might have spoke Yiddish at home. You might have spoke Italian at home, but when you were out and about, you spoke English. Everybody spoke. We had a cohesiveness. There was a melting pot of everybody from E pluribus unum, from many the one, from everywhere and anytime, but we all have the same ideas, the same kind of moral standard to follow. It used to be when you would even go to the grocery store, you dressed like you were probably going, not quite as church Sunday best, but it
Right.
wasn't, half a step down from that. Nowadays, you catch
Yeah.
people in China Mart in their underwear and tutu with their fuzzy slippers. It's no morals.
Thomas, go to Walmart and look at them. I mean, it just cracks me up. But yeah, I mean, it's like I forgot who it was. I want to say it was the guy that does Black Man Thinking. Even mentioned one day about that he was a black man. He was not African American. He wasn't born in Africa. He was born here, and it just kills me the way these people say I'm African American. Really? Okay, how many generations back was your family from Africa? You're an American. Act like an
Exactly.
American.
Well, and when I was growing up and going to school, so now this is, let's see, when did I start school? Probably back
1920s?
in
No.
this back when it was just a red building with the one belt. No, it wasn't a red schoolhouse. It really wasn't. We had schools. I remember being out of school in the early 60s when Kennedy got shot. So that was what, 62, 63, something like that. Second or third grade.
63, because I was born in 62, and I think I was not quite a year old when he died, or I
Okay.
was a little
So
over a year old, one of the two.
back from the 60s to the probably early 70s in school, every morning we'd say the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we had little songbooks, and people, would go through the different days, okay, Billy, you pick out a song, the teacher would have everybody pick out. I mean, it was like Battle Hymn of the Republic was in
Yeah,
there, As the Saints Go Marching On, songs that made you feel part of the community, made you
yeah,
feel like you belong. There's no cohesiveness anymore. There's no gathering of people together unless we have a catastrophe like, bombing of the World Trade Centers, flying the planes into them. That brought America together for a while. It also gave us a Patriot Act so we could theoretically keep track of
hmm,
what everybody was going on. But, it was one of those trade-offs. We need to give up some of our liberties for
yeah,
security. But I think I would rather keep my freedoms and be unsafe. I can draw and cap somebody just as quick as they
right.
can draw and cap me. And if you're paying attention to your surroundings, the odds of them getting a draw on you are, slimmer.
Oh yeah, I totally believe that everybody should pay attention to what's around them. It's like driving down the road. People don't, or walking at the grocery store or whatever. They're all in their own little bubble. They don't know what's going on around them. I'm
I'm looking for
constantly
ketchup. I'm
looking.
looking for ketchup. That's all I see. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of, they say you should learn defensive driving. When you learn to drive, you should also learn defensive walking, because there's too many people that they're not aware of their surroundings at all. Hence a lot of people walking into poles.
I have a unique outlook on driving. I drive like it's a chess game. In other words, I'm looking at the car in front of me going, okay, where can he go? Can he go left? Can he go right? What's he can do? What's that guy over on this, on the far left-hand lane? Where can he go? What can he do? Where's the hole? If I need to stop, where can I pull off this way? Can I pull that? I hate the people going down the road, 10 and 2. That's where their hands are. Tunnel vision.
I know. Those to me are
Yeah.
the worst drivers. I mean,
Me, I would figure I'd get more in trouble for being a distracted driver, because I'm looking at the scenery, I'm looking at the cars, I'm looking at other cars' license plates, I'm looking to see what they're doing in their cars. I set the drunk control, so I'm doing the speed limit. All I have to do is stay in my lane.
yep.
Might as well do
Looking in my
something and
mirrors.
see what's going on in the world.
I mean, it's just, I don't know. People have got, I don't know if that's technology or I don't know what it is, but it's like people do not pay attention. They're walking through a grocery store on their phone. And, I use my phone when I'm at the grocery store, but I stop. I make sure that I'm at a spot where either no one's in that aisle or somewhere where no one's going to want to reach around me because there's nothing there but a empty space. And I get
Nothing
my
wrong with a
phone
good
out
reach
and
around.
because I use the app for my coupons and whatnot. But then you got people who put their cart here and then they stand way over here to look at what they want to look at. And I need something right there. And, and you just stand there. And it's like me, I would have seen someone out of my periphery that was coming towards me because I'm aware of that. They aren't. I'm standing there. Da, 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 da,
I like it when
oh
you
my
get
gosh.
one little old lady staring at this shelf and one old lady staring at this shelf, and they're right there next to each other.
Traffic jam.
Okay, folks, there's only enough room for one on each side. Can somebody do something?
It's
I've been
ridiculous.
guilty of that before too. I mean, I'll park the cart here and start scanning for what I want, which I thought was right in front of me. But by the time you read all the labels, you end up, 20 feet down the aisle from where your cart was, kind of thing. It's like, oops, sorry, go get my
I
cart
just
over.
think people have gotten ruder. They walk right in front of you. They pull their cart out in front of you. They stand there and block the whole aisle with people on both sides waiting to get around them. I mean, same way people drive.
No
You
manners
know?
anymore. It's me first. I'm first. I'm first. I'm first. Yeah, no.
They sit at a green light and they don't go, and you're just like, really? You could have gone 3 times.
Precisely. People like that get me too. Driving is one of my pet peeves, I guess. If it's posted 55, drive fire trucking 55. Don't do 35. Don't do 12. If it's 55, drive it. If it's 35, drive 35. You don't need, I can do 15. Yeah, great. I'm glad Grandma taught you how to drive. Now move it.
If
Yeah,
you're at
fun,
that
fun.
point, you shouldn't be driving. You know,
I
just,
agree.
just take
That's
your
one of the
keys,
things I'm
give them
worried
to
about.
someone, stay at home.
That bothers me. What's going to happen when I get so old that I can't drive anymore? And I mean, I
You
drive
know,
the speed limit.
my
If it
dad is 80 something years old and he still drives and he does not poke around or,
he
he
doesn't
drives the same
lollygag.
way as I've ever remembered him driving, you know? So,
well, I saw a deal on the news the other day. There's a guy 103, still has his license, still drives. I hope I'm pulled that one off, or at least close to it.
Yeah, that is if we aren't in a civil war already at that point, then nobody's going to be driving anywhere. We're all going to be stockpiled in our homes, waiting for somebody to come in and try and take our guns.
That was a good series. Revolution. You look at that. They turned the lights off on that one. That was good. Yep, pretty much the same thing.
What was that?
A series it was on a bunch of years ago. Name of it was Revolution, and they turned the power off. They just shut it all down.
Was it like
and then everybody? It was one of those, post-apocalyptic kind of things, where everybody had to survive, and you had little pockets of, communities hither and thither.
Huh.
You should be able to find it on YouTube or one of those. Revolution, I believe, was the name of it. It was really cool.
Sounds interesting. But you said it was a while back. I'll have to look and see if I can find it on Hulu or Netflix.
Yeah, and one of those. A good portion of it, I do believe, takes place in your part of the country, down around the Atlanta area.
Hey, we're known for all that stuff, I live actually, technically, I think part of this is considered Kennesaw National Battlefield, all this area right here, where all that took place, and it's pretty cool. But we're pretty, patriotic around this area in particular. So, I mean, I live close to Kennesaw, and they have a gun law where you have to have a gun. So I'm waiting on Cobb County to become a sanctuary, because just for the fact that Kennesaw is in here, and they ain't gonna put, they're not gonna give their guns up. Yeah, so it's pretty interesting.
And there's a lot of people that aren't going to give them up. I mean, if I had some to give up, unfortunately, I don't have any. Whatever I used to have was tragically lost in a boating accident while crossing the Mississippi and Arizona one time, and it just they all sunk. I mean, it's just tragic. I have to take my hand off every time I hear about it.
Well, I have two. I have my one from Mojo, and then I have my one that I had gotten before that. So I'd like to get more, but time will tell. Money will tell. So we're getting close to the end. So tell everybody where you can be found.
Generally with both hands. Let's see, you can get me on Twitter, Leprechaun56. Over in the MeWe's, of course. Let's see, where else can you get me? You can hear me daily, Monday through Friday, on Jen Torres's That's What She Said with the Daily Hello. And luckily, you can hear me a second time at the end of Defenders each night, Monday through Friday, with the bell count. So be sure to check in. And if you want the Daily Hello, you can always hit MeWe. There's a page in groups with the Daily Hello. You can get an audible version.
Yeah, I like
it. Feel free to reach out and touch me anytime.
And y'all know where y'all can find us at, or me. I have a Facebook page, Spreaker, and YouTube, whenever we can get them all working at the same time. And I'm on MeWe, usually in some of the chats. So we'll see y'all next week, next Saturday, 8 o'clock Eastern time.
Peace out, y'all.